So a really common question is, oh, I'm going to be improvising and I'm sick of playing just the blues or just the pentatonic scale. How do I know what scales to play and where should I play them? This is something that I will be talking about a lot in my upcoming Reliable Source workshops on minor blues chord progressions. But here's one simple idea to get you started on it right away, which is something I like to think of as using the chords as the roadmap for your soloing. And here's what I mean. If the chords are very simple, they don't tell you much about what to play. So if you're thinking of a G minor blues as having the first 4 bars just being G minor, well, all it tells you is G minor, and that just kind of tells you to play G blues or a G minor scale, something pretty straightforward. But let's just take 2 steps towards adding in some different chords. And the first thing is to think of the chord progression the way that swing musicians would think about it in the 30s, which is not as just 4 bars of G minor, but as rocking between the 1 and the 4 chord. That's kind of a simplified version of the idea. It's a little more nuanced than that. But basically the idea that you're going to keep going between the 1 chord, G minor 6, and the 5 chord, D7 with an A in the bass. So here's the 5th and the 3rd and the flat 7. And that means that instead of just playing, you can, every couple of beats, momentarily be on the sound of a D7 chord, which if you just take these notes and slide them down 1 fret, and then add in this note, now we've got the 3rd, and the 5th, and the flat 7 of D7. And so you can get these sounds that where the melody rocks between the 1 and the 5, not just the chords. And that's one way to start opening things up between the minor sound and the D7 sound. You could even add in a flat 9 so that you've got So that's one way to start to mix things up. And then the next thing to do is to take the idea a little further and go, okay, well, maybe I'm going back and forth between G minor and D7, and then playing a G major or G dominant 7, or even a G7 with the flat 13 on top at the end of bar 4 to take you to bar 5. And so now the melody can reflect that. And there are different ways to start changing that G minor sound at the end of bar 4 into a G7 or even a G7 altered with the root, 3rd, 5th, flat 7, and flat 9. And of course, how you then resolve that and get it to the C minor is part of the proposition as well. But that way you can go from, now you have like more options, right? You could just play blues, which will sound great. You can rock between 1 and 5. And that can go on all day. But if you're trying to get to the 4 chord, then your third option is to Use that idea of rocking between 1 and 5. And then end the 4th bar with some kind of G7 lick that will take you over to C minor. So that's the idea. If you'd like to learn more about my upcoming workshops on playing over the minor blues chord progression, please go to the link below or the link on screen. If you've got a question or a comment about today's lesson, leave it down below. I would love to hear from you. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.